Hi, my name is Emily. I'm an ELE 302 here at Missouri State, and I am going to talk to you about how to make a pinecone bird feeder. So I got this idea from Karen Ryder from preschoolinspirations.com, and this is a great activity for all ages in elementary, but probably most appropriate for preschool through second grade. So first, your supplies. You need one pinecone, peanut butter, birdseed, plate or tray, twine or string, scissors, and popsicle sticks. This pinecone bird feeder is a great activity to get students outside instead of doing the normal worksheets at their kitchen table. It gets them interested in nature and interested in the animals that they see every day but don't really notice in their neighborhood. The supplies are very easy, very simple, very affordable, and you can find them anywhere. So to start off making your pinecone bird feeder, you take your large pinecone, your popsicle stick, and your peanut butter. Now, if there is the worry of a peanut allergy, there is an alternative. The birds still love it. It still works just as fine. It's called sun butter, and you can find that anywhere. I found it at Target. It's a great price still, and it works just as well. So you take your peanut butter and you spread it with your popsicle stick on the pinecone. Spread it generously, spread it evenly, make sure that it is covered in peanut butter. Next, you want to pour the birdseed onto the plate or tray and roll your pinecone that's covered in peanut butter into the birdseed. You want to roll it until all the peanut butter is completely covered with the birdseed. So now that you have the birdseed covering all of the pinecone, you can take your twine or your string and tie it around the top of the pinecone. You want to tie it into a knot and nice and sturdy, and then at the end of the string, you want to tie a little loop so it's easy to hang on a branch or a hook. So now that you have your string tied onto your pinecone, you can hang it anywhere you please, outside in your front yard, in your backyard, really anywhere. And you can watch as all of the birds in your neighborhood come by and eat from your bird feeder. So this is a great activity, and you can tie in a lot of different subjects. I chose science and literature. For the literature section, there's this book called Bird Count, and it is by S.E. Richmond, and you can use this book as an introduction, so your student can read it out loud. You can read it out loud to them, you can read it together, and you can use it as an introduction because it is about a girl, and she observes the birds that she sees in her neighborhood, and she counts the species and which species they are, and writes down in her bird log the observations that she sees. After reading a book like this, it can get the students excited to do the same thing with their bird feeder. So they can keep a little journal and they can count the different birds that they see, make a little observations about what birds that they see come flying in their backyard or their front yard using their bird feeder. Now, along with observations, the next subject that can be tied into this activity is science, because your student can make observations and inferences. For example, from walkbytheway.com, they have a bird observation log, and they have 3 different worksheets that you can use. The first one is a bingo board, and it just there's nothing too complex on it. It just has little squares inside the squares, and it says bird with black, or birds with white, or birds with brown, and it's just simple stuff like that, but this can help the students make little observations about what kind of birds they see. The second worksheet that is in the website is a chart, and it has 5 columns. The first column is the type of bird, the second column is the date, and the third column is the time, and then location, and then weather. And this chart is really good for the inferences that I mentioned earlier. So they can write down the species that they see, say they see a cardinal, and then they can write down the date and the time that they see it, and then the location and the type of weather. This can help them see that maybe weather has something to do with the type of bird that comes that comes and goes, or the time of day has something to do with the type of bird that comes and goes. This is really good for the scientific method and just kind of like introducing it to them at a young age and gets them thinking about things like this. The last worksheet that the website has is a simpler chart sheet, and that just has the type of bird that they see, and then the second column is a tally. And this is when they can, if they see a cardinal, they can just write down the word cardinal, and then in the second column, keep a tally of how many times they see the cardinal. This isn't really as inferential as the other chart is, but it still makes them make observations about what birds come and go. So this really is a great activity. I remember doing it when I was little, and it was always so cool to see the different birds that would fly around my backyard, because it really does attract a lot of them, and it could be and it's really fun for the kids to see and get all excited about what they see, and then later on in life they can say, oh, hey, I know what kind of bird that is, just because of the logs that they would keep because when they made this pinecone bird feeder.